on defense.
적의 공격까지 30초.
Every time without fail. Let's see, looks like Hureg just going to be bringing out the Widowmaker. Already had some pretty good shots from Stitch, so we'll see how he is going to compare.
Yep.
Haksal just going to be chilling out with the Genji. His go-to pick.
The most interesting thing about this is the Twilight Ana. We know he's very good at the Ana. It's been a off-meta pick for him on Hanamura exclusively on point B, but playing it here even on A now is going to help Haksal be empowered, help keep him alive at a distance, and can give him, of course, nano boost. But the trade-off being that Hureg's going to be at a disadvantage in terms of damage without the Discord Orbs in the tank battle. So that's the trade-off. Not exactly a win-win here for RunAway, and just a different composition. Let's see how they execute it. If Hureg can hit the headshots every time, it won't matter, but the Ana also gives you some extra flexibility to deal with the Pharah, as you can see here as well. Listen, taking some of those body shots.
Hureg so far, not that much impactful poke coming through. Haven't seen anybody die yet, as I say that. He's getting jumped on here as Illicit comes around the backside, looking for some shots onto Haksal, but cannot take him down for the moment. But now both supports going to be found on the high ground here, just off to the left side as BlossoM gets in onto the point for the moment. They will go ahead and peel back as Mineral and Sia both go dangerously low. Sleep not going to connect. Widowmaker in such a rough spot. Hureg getting jumped on, gets bound out. Illicit flipping around the side, takes him out.
This is the mark of a great Pharah player. Just able to zip left and right here with pocketing, healing coming from Dotori. Fighting an Ana and a Widow.
Oh, and Ons in the meantime, he finds 2 kills. Bumper and Haksal both going to be taken out, and BlossoM get over in onto the point. That first tick nearly coming through, and with Twilight going down, looks like BlossoM should just be able to cap this one. Nearly 6.5 minutes will be in the time bank for them. Yeah,
very much on the back of Illicit. The mark of a great Pharah, one that can get into position inside a building and then 1v2 an Ana and a Widowmaker and make it a good trade. Obviously he's pocketed, but in terms of the DPS, he's fighting 2 of his counters, one of them of course being the soft counter of the Ana. Builds the barrage as well, and it ends up being a really nice spot here for BlossoM, forcing them away, getting onto the position.
Some odd timing there. Hureg had used the infra sight, but
yeah.
you saw BlossoM were just more than willing to just chill out, wait for that one to expire. They force out the Transcendence here from Swoon. Twilight gonna go down, Slime able to get the res, and Bumper looking to apply some pressure here onto the Widowmaker, just smacking on straight in onto the point. Self-destruct from Janu, not gonna be finding anything. The barrage from Illicit doesn't get anything either, just gonna get the pop onto the mech.
Slept but
as
woke
I say.
As well.
Yeah, he's so woke right now. Haksal though, up into the air, looking for that kill, and can't make it down to the low ground in time. The self-destruct will take out the Genji. Ons sniping, just looking to take them out.
He has full control at this point.
From the spawn room, dashes over to the side, has a great angle here. Twilight gonna go down yet again, and Bumper will fall as well.
Here's
Hureg
the
looking to poke out, nearly has that Deadeye ready to go, but still gonna be 30% away. Doomfist in from Haksal, but taken down by the pilot Diva. Sia halfway back into the mech, but BlossoM more than halfway to getting this finish on the point with nearly 5 minutes left in the bank.
Oh, this is gonna be the end of it. There's the kill on the Bumper, and they will take it down.
Oh boy, and
453.
Hanamura continues to be absolutely atrocious for RunAway.
Yeah, and this is where we saw Amy and Slime try to run the defensive Ana throughout Season 1 to try to keep Haksal relevant on the Genji on point B. The problem being that it's such an open space that if you're allowed to get on the high ground with hit scans, it was often the Soldier in Season 1, and Hureg proved when he was on GC Busan on Hanamura that if you get the Soldier up there, in Season 4 he attack visored, he got those kills onto the dive that was defending B. In this case it was Ons with the Widow, and we saw Illicit switch to the Genji. He flies in, you know, for the fast respawn and is able to help do that extra damage, and everyone was just trickling through one by one, and you know, the self-destruct that killed Haksal was really the first step to getting Ons there to take those pot shots and fully control that second point. So they end up with the double cap with the ult advantage they had. Fantastic time bank, and it all comes from that Illicit pop-off there on point A.
It was really great stuff from him with the Pharah. He's been the most consistent member of BlossoM so far all the way through this series.
And I'm
the
happy
Pharah
for
from him has just been continuously great. Right now, we see The triple tank going to be hovered out from the side of RunAway at the moment with Haksal on the Brigitte. So like a 3.5.
It operates as a quad tank basically.
Yeah, 3.5 tank coming through just about. We'll round it up to quad.
Yeah, it operates as a quad tank because Haksal has the ability to come in with his shield and also stun. And as he auto-attacks, he provides AoE healing. Not at the level that Lucio will, but close. So Lucio's more for the speed here to approach the point. And if the first push doesn't work, it should be able to build enough ult charge to where the follow-up push will be quite strong. Let's see how it works in practice. This is quite common on attack of point A, as we've seen so many times already in our first 3 days of Contenders Korea Season 2. They've been scouted. Here's the speed boost, shoving their way through with the Zarya.
Yeah, going to be charging their way in. HooReg going to be one of the first ones that tags in onto the point, but both supports have been taken down. Slime and Twilight both getting eliminated here on finding the one mineral, the other, and that just means that RunAway should be bled out, but we've seen crazier things happen. Unless gets rid of Janu, Bumper taken down, and Haksal just going to be diving off the side. We'll see if they want to hold this or if they're going to swap things up now that they know what BlossoM's running.
The toughest part about this is because they use speed boost instead of heal, Slime has no ult charge. HooReg didn't get that much damage done and was largely ignored on his bubble, so didn't build energy. And it looks like we are going to see the swap through.
Yeah.
That was what I was saying earlier. If you fail the first push, the idea is you have enough ult charge where the second one works, but they didn't build really any ult charge, so better to just completely switch this up. Illicit also building very quickly to a barrage with the free tanks he was given to fire pot shots at. So this is a scary time for RunAway.
Yeah. So the order mentality was try and try again. And make a miracle happen when you win a 3v5. But you see HooReg just working his way in around the corner, looking for these shots.
Ons, he's got the line
in on to Ons, and now it's a body tag, but he's going to be in some rough spot. Cannot make it back to safety. Swoon going to eliminate Haksal, and there's no DPS available here for RunAway as they continue to struggle. Nearly that single tick coming through in the meantime, but not going to be able to get that completion. And everybody else just going to have to go for the reset.
No one's a bigger HooReg fan than me, but he's been underperforming when compared to Stitch in terms of Widow accuracy thus far. When having a flank position and Ons not knowing where he was, he still wasn't able to get even body shots there onto Ons. So something that's starting to add up here, unfortunately, for RunAway. Obviously, the pick here was probably for the Zarya, like you were alluding to, a strategic choice, but the Widow is coming up a little bit weak.
Yeah, has not been great. Bumper dangerously low in onto the point pocket, just starting to come through. And HooReg does manage to win the Widow battle here as he takes down Ons.
That's a good start.
Haksal, he'll get eliminated. Now Slime's dead. There's no pharmacy here for the side of RunAway. Bumper is getting chipped down as he tries to retreat. Mineral bunny hopping, if you would have to call it, his way back in onto the point.
Well, you know, I mean, BlossoM still holds ult advantage with the exception of the support ultimates. And HooReg needs to come up bigger here. He did get the win on Ons last time. If he can do it again, that would be huge. They can use the sustain they have from the support ults to force themselves onto the point. But they've got to be careful of that barrage. That's their biggest worry right now.
Diving in away from the point at the moment here as HooReg takes a couple of rockets to the face. Soon will go down. Bumper managing to find that one, but big instant hit, direct going through from Illicit. Follows up with another one, and HooReg is dead. Sia pushing forward. Self-destruct ready to go to buy some space here onto the point as the Valkyrie and the Transcendence are used. Haksal just having Illicit straight up into his face, pinned into the corner. Barrage still going to be held here for the moment.
He's holding
might
it
not
so
need
long.
to use it. Twilight takes him down, but he falls off the side of the map, and Slime will die as well as Haksal and RunAway just might be getting full health. They get a single tick halfway to the second, but BlossoM hold firm on A.
It's crazy how much Illicit is holding this barrage as well. He's just so good at positioning that he doesn't want to waste it until he has the best opportunity. He's still trading up. RunAway was able to get some control of the point because the supports were in two different places. Swoon was isolated. They got the kill there, but Dotori and Illicit were untouched, and they were doing consistent damage. The support ultimates bought them some time, but they could not get kills. They could not convert that into a win during that window of time before the respawns came back. RunAway is in some serious trouble now. 10 seconds left.
Yeah, barrage ready to go. Have to get in onto the point. So far, not going to happen. Dotori, however, going to get taken down by HooReg. That's
huge
a very crucial pick coming in, and Illicit as well will fall. RunAway, can they make this one happen? Haksal will die. Sia coming in from behind, takes him out with the rockets. Swoon will be forced to use a Transcendence. Primal Rage coming in from Minerals. Trying to get the pin into the wall. Manages to find Slime, so no res going to be into this one. Twilight, he's taken out. He can't use the Transcendence, and now Bumper's going to die.
It's looking bad.
Right there, right as Twilight gets the ult. Gets taken down. Crucial for Mons. Shuts it out, and RunAway will not get a cap. Full held here on A. Only the one tick to speak of. BlossoM starting. They get a win. 2-1, they're down, but can they pull it off? Will we see another 5-map series?
You start to wonder, you know, about the Hureg swap, because when he was given every opportunity on the Widow to find picks, to find kills, he came up with body shots or no shots at all. He got the 1 kill onto Ons, and he got the 1 kill onto Dottore. But in those moments, when the support was removed, when the Widow was removed, he wasn't able to pop off like Stitch did with the combination of Haksal there on the Genji on Hollywood, or like what we saw from Stitch, just vanilla on the Paul in the 1v1 matchup against Ons. So Hureg, he was a legend in the Season 4 Apex, where he was able to show his Soldier 76 on this map. His Widowmaker, we did see him flex to occasionally, as well as the Doomfist. But here, you know, he's purely Widow and Zarya. Like you said, this is probably a strategic choice. You know, his Zarya is quite good, but he didn't build a lot of ult charge on that. The counterplay from BlossoM was really strong. So RunAway was kind of playing with one hand tied behind their back after they attempted that push, then had to switch composition. Against one of the best Widows in the league, it's tough to come in back from Overwatch League and compete with Stitch, who's obviously been improving his Widowmaker throughout this entire year. Stitch gives the fist bumps here in the booth, so I don't think he's going to be necessarily subbed back in here. Looks like he was kind of saying, all right, you guys got this, I'm walking out of the booth. But
I mean, it would be interesting if they want to go ahead and keep him you know, subbed out if Stitch is not going to be coming back in. Maybe he's just going to have to be the X factor, the last-ditch effort, if this does get forced onto 5 maps. An interesting strategy that RunAway is using at the moment. We'll get confirmation, see if there is in fact going to be any changes to the lineup as we go forward and get ready to go into our next game. But it's going to be RunAway's choice as we get ready to move over onto Escort. We've been talking about this since the beginning of the season on Wednesday. RunAway strikes me as one of the big teams that would pick Rialto. We already saw it 2 days ago, but I would not be surprised at all if we see it for the second time here today with them choosing.
I think there's 3 really good maps for RunAway. I think Rialto suits their style. They obviously clearly have been trying to work on the triple quad tank, you know, Brigida triple tank attack we just saw in Hanamura. Like that sort of meta is prevalent, and they've been working on the Pharah, so Rialto works out for that, I think. But also Dorado is a great map for them. Stitch can pop off on the Widow again if he's subbed in, which we don't know. And then I think that Route 66 is great for their dive. Like if you want to play straight up dive, if you want to run the Genji, you go to Route 66. So I think those are kind of the 3 maps you look at where you say these maps play to our strengths. Dorado is a bit of a riskier one with Ons on the Widow, especially if you're going to be keeping Hureg in. And again, I don't want to put all the blame on Hureg, but there were a few moments there where it was very clear that in terms of accuracy, Stitch was the better Widowmaker player.
Yeah.
And Illicit was also the reason why that they were able to, okay, we're going to see a sub of Summon Suin. Oh, yeah. It's not on our screen.
It's not on our screen yet, but we're going to get ready to have it up there, I expect.
I'm telling you guys it's happening.
Okay, well, we'll let you guys know that Summon Su is being subbed in and Haksal is being subbed out.
I'm like, let me let people know.
I'm going to tell production real quick.
So he is being subbed in.
Okay, there we go.
But yeah, Summon Su coming in here. We don't know who he's subbed in for because I actually didn't see. Okay, that makes sense.
Does it?
Well, if we're going to Rialto, I think it does.
Okay. I like your line of thinking so far.
Depends on what he's going to be playing because Hureg can play the Pharah. If Hureg ends up playing Pharah, Summon Su could be on the Hanzo or just on the Zarya here. Let's wait and see. Like again, I don't want to make any assumptions yet because we haven't seen Summon Su in a while. Yeah, we do have a bit of a technical pause here.
It is still Hureg in, so Stitch not coming back in as well. So going to be seeing the Hureg Summon Su lineup.
Okay,
which is intriguing. Now I'm really curious about the map pick. I'm hoping that we see a little bit more Rialto. I know some people aren't favoring that one so much in the solo queue, but honestly, I've had great experiences with it.
Same. I mean, we've had a great match on it just 2 days ago.
Yeah. I'm talking about in my solo queue.
Yeah, solo queue
just going through competitive
for me has been fun as well. I just like, you know, since I'm not a pro player and when I play the game, I just play it to, enjoy and get a further understanding of like new metas and new patches. Because obviously, patches come out on live before they come out in this tournament, so the actual server itself is a good way for me to just test stuff out. But anyway, you know, I found Rialto to be enjoyable. But what we saw in Rialto, just in case it becomes the Rialto pick that we're kind of alluding to, was Ding dominating for Kongdu Panthera. You know, we talked about how this is a really strong meta for Kongdu Panthera because they like to run triple and quad tank. Ding's Pharah looks amazing right now. He's a great projectile player. He always has been. So we'll see how this kind of plays out here. Yep. If they do end up picking it, because I worry for them given how strong Illicit is on the Pharah right now.
Well, seems like with that music, we should be ready to figure out what our fourth and potentially final map is going to be. RunAway's choice for the first time in this series. Need to come out swinging. They clearly have something planned, something maniacal, given the swap in for Sominsu and Hurek still on the lineup.
Yeah.
Experimenting a bit here in day one.
We'll have to see what Sominsu ends up playing here again. A bit of a question mark for us right now.
Show me the Rialto.
Map pick still to be unknown. Here it is. Oh, no, not quite. We're going to take a look at stats first. Okay, so as you can see, obviously neither of these players have professional stats on Rialto in Contenders.
Yep.
And RunAway, in terms of the record for 2018, they have a 6-3 to BlossoM 7-5. This is, of course, including all stats for professional tournaments this year, not just Contenders. It's going to be Gibraltar.
Okay.
This is a map we've seen a lot of Doomfist on, and Sominsu's most iconic hero is the Doomfist. I'm not trying to push out that it's going to be like a Doomfist attack right out the go, but
got
it's
it right
something
here.
to remember. Like, we saw Youngjin on the Doomfist on this map for Kongdu Panthera find a lot of success, and Sominsu's Doomfist may be something that we see. Hakusel's also been a good Doomfist in the past, but again, Sominsu the more iconic Doomfist of the two players.
So to translate Wolf's analysis there, he's guaranteeing a Doomfist or your money back. He'll pay everyone watching $20 if they don't play Doomfist.
Well, guess what? Look at that. Look at that. To the top
So
right
get ready to DM him your pay. Okay, never mind. So, I was gonna say DM him your PayPals, but never mind, Wolf. This is why I love you.
So
the profit here on the desk.
This is
move over, Bren.
This is just something that, you know, if you followed Apex throughout the seasons, you would know. And I know not everyone watching all the golden days of Apex, but Sominsu's famous for this, and so I was reaching for the assumption given the meta, but it's very easy to play against this setup with Ons on the Widow if you can get into position. That's what he's trying to do.
Yeah, looking for the dive there. Actually, just going to corner himself, however, and Illicit's able to scoop the kill as he's over onto the Genji at the moment. Deflection coming down. Janu is going to be killed off. So, a decent first volley here from RunAway, getting close to the completion as Bumper is going to be staggered out.
Yeah, this is not a bad attack by RunAway by any means. Sominsu built nearly half of the Meteor Strike, but the next one needs to be a little bit more efficient or they're going to start to lose out on this comp as BlossoM approaches the big six with their ultimates. They fed over a lot of charge with that attack, but they did gain the distance and they got through the majority of this funnel, and now they can get onto this high ground with that positional advantage. Sominsu may be able to finally get on top of Ons. Hurek gives vision with this Infrasight.
Yeah, decent angle here at the moment, but Twilight going to go down. Illicit with that Dragon Blade ready to go. Is able to get the finishing blow onto him, and now it's looking for Slime. Rez will come through, and he can safely exit. Illicit getting chunked down. Deflection to keep himself alive at the moment. Dashes through, gets that health back, but now he's got nowhere to go, and Sominsu shows up on the side of the Slam and takes him down. Getting the uppercut here onto the Winston, into that rocket punch, takes him dangerously low and is able to finish him off. Sominsu finally showing up here with this Doomfist pick, and now he's looking for more. Has this Mercy in the corner, but can't quite finish her off at the moment. Needs a little bit of help from his friends, it would seem.
Okay, well, he brings out the iconic Doomfist, smashes Illicit, and, you know, I think that BlossoM kind of played into RunAway's hands a little bit there when they were playing the defensive setup where, you know, Illicit was just trying to peel a little bit and harass the backline. When Doomfist came in, they had more success. But when they tried to dive RunAway's composition, they play into the Doomfist, which has the stun, has the ability to, at close range, blow anybody up. Mineral and Illicit were the big victims of that. Sia to a lesser extent. Now the Meteor Strike is available. You can use it as an escape or an initiation tool here.
Yeah,
it's going to be the escape.
All right. Oh, no. Maybe not. He's moving over. He's looking for that mech. This time, but overall still going to be effective. Doesn't need the Meteor Strike to get kills.
Yeah.
So
If he, obviously the Meteor Strike is going to give you some armor, so you can use it to kind of escape that moment of death and then use it to re-engage, as we saw there. Wasn't necessary, but worked out for him. They're going to get the second point, looks like pretty easily. One more contest.
Going low, looking to get those shields coming in. Rocket Punch just chunking out Mineral, and see the pocket there on a swoon, helping to keep him alive at the moment. Does have that Transcendence ready to go, but won't be given an opportunity to use it. Both healers going to be taken down. Hureg able to eliminate that Zenyatta. And now it's 4.5 minutes here for RunAway as they keep pushing forward. They keep finding staggers.
Of the heroes that have self-sustain in Overwatch, Doomfist is one of the most terrifying ones when you're losing against him, because he gets the armor, then he can survive long enough for the Mercy to pocket him, and it just starts to snowball, right? I mean, you've got the Roadhog, the Soldier 76. A lot of these heroes in the game have self-sustain. Brigida to a lesser extent, but Doomfist, if he pops off, he becomes harder to kill, and then he gets the Harmony Orb, he gets the pocket from the Mercy, and you're trying to dive him with your Genji, but he counters Genji in close range.
Yep, now he's looking to take down the Winston yet again. Mineral, really going to have that Primal Rage ready to go. Alyssa drawing out the Dragon Blade's not going to get really anything done. Bumper uses his Primal Rage and is still going to be pretty darn low at the moment. RunAway just going to be halted here at the final corner for the moment. Self-destruct's going to be used by both sides. Bubble comes down, nicely done there by Bumper to mitigate that one from Sia, so not going to be finding much. Now both tanks going to be without ultimates on either side.
All right, so Minsu getting the back line here. This is a really scary moment because he's got the Meteor Strike.
In. That's going to be the Transcendence just defensively, but drops it on top of Ons. Barely saw it coming. No reaction really from him. The trade on the Widowmakers, but Hureg going to be res back through, and Swoon eliminated Minsu. My God, is just wrecking BlossoM at the moment with this Doomfist. Another punch in on the Mineral. He gets the pocket from the Tori, will stay alive.
It's such a good map for Doomfist as well, with all these ledges for him to get up on top of, and you don't have much retreat path here. And then with Swoon using the Transcendence, he went forward to save the rest of his team, but didn't help Ons, who was left alone. So Minsu kills the main damage, and then is just able to freely build those shields while doing damage. Another Meteor Strike.
Yeah, dropping down, but the Mercy able to go ahead and jump to the side. But, I mean, they're just locked in. Alyssa tries to come out, but he just gets punched straight back through into the wall, and he goes down. Primal Rage here from Bumper, just to try to shove them back. Ons swapping to the Bastion, a last-ditch effort to stop them from getting this completion, but to no avail. They'll get shoved back. Self-destruct coming in, not going to find much. Alyssa needs a half, one hell of a pop-off blade, but Transcendence there to go ahead and deny all of that damage from coming through. RunAway now just 0.9 meters away as everybody gets chunked out, gets eliminated as they spill forth onto the card. They managed to find the supports here. Swoon going to die as soon as that Transcendence does expire. Bumper still playing forward. Trying to zap them to death. The punch comes in, gets rid of Swoon. The completion still not coming through. Punch in, Sia getting knocked away. But Minsu will get taken out, and actually BlossoM do manage to hold it off.
The Brigida pick comes out here at the last second, gives extra armor to Illicit so he can do more damage and build half a Dragon Blade. He's also able to stun and kind of peel for the Doomfist pick. Minsu's going to make the Hanzo swap here, but likewise so will BlossoM to the Widow. The Pharah is also going to be very strong against Doomfist. Unfortunately, they don't know that Minsu has swapped. They'll find out in just a second. They definitely know now.
Okay.
But still, this is going to be quite a strong comp for BlossoM defensively. So even though RunAway had this massive train rolling into the station, they've been shut down now.
Ons getting jumped on yet again, but not going to be falling. Manages to stay alive. Arrow's just going to be spammed out here from someone who's trying to get a lucky headshot in onto Ons, but actually no, won't even be needed. It's going to be Twilight actually taking down the Widowmaker.
Coming up big here, fast respawn though.
That or the res.
They need to.
Seems like they're just going to hold this one actually as a swap comes in. Alyssa's going back over onto the Genji.
They need to capitalize on this window where they have the advantage. They need to do it quick.
Cart didn't roll back very much, but RunAway, the time bank has been drained considerably. Now down to about 30 seconds remaining.
Storm arrows coming
through. Mineral going to go ahead, pops that Primal Rage to try to stay alive. Twilight just now getting that Transcendence of Slime. Tries to evade the Winston. Self-destruct in. from Janu, looking for a pick, not going to be finding it though, but On's taken out Sia, knocked down to Tori, now going to die. Srunier a bit too late with that Transcendence, and he is going to have the zone back at Minerals left all by himself. He'll get taken out, Dragon Strike in onto the point, just to go ahead and shove them back. Sia gets close enough to keep this one contested,
they
but
do it before
not
overtime.
for very long. The RunAway will manage to get this completion, but their clock got drained down quite a bit.
3.5 seconds left, I believe. Happy to do it before the overtime, but it is escort, of course. Let's see now what happens here on attack for BlossoM, because just simply running the attack Widow, which was the older, more common meta on this map, we saw it a lot in Overwatch League as well when this was in the pool, with the Mercy, is strong. But clearly RunAway already has a counter plan. It worked well on attack. It could work equally as well on the defense. I don't know if we'll necessarily see that, because the most data we have to go through on the Doomfist attack on this map comes from Kongdu Panthera, comes from that Youngjin play that we saw early on last season.
Yeah.
So when they ran the Doomfist on attack, they did not run it on defense. We saw a switch to a normal pop. I expect RunAway will probably do the same. But let's wait and see. Very scary moment now for BlossoM, because this is a map that you would think with their Widow prowess they would be dominant on, but the Doomfist sub in here of Suminsu ends up doing a number on him.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely just crushing with the Doomfist. The Hanzo, you know, instrumental in the end, but wasn't the most impactful that we have seen. We'll see what they're going to be running here for RunAway on defense. Seems like Suminsu going to be over onto the Brigitte. And Hureg back onto the Widowmaker. So he's warmed up now, you know. He's got a couple rounds in. Hanamura now into halfway through Gibraltar.
Probably expecting to see the attack Genji and Widow combo. So you have Hureg on the sniper to kind of counteract that, and then you have the Brigitte to help peel for the Genji. And will look to be a triple tank. Hanzo, no, okay, he's teasing. Just going to be more of the normal. Not going to be the Genji, though, the Hanzo attack. So Brigitte going to be pretty worthless, actually, in most ways with this defensive setup for RunAway.
Well, it was a decent start. They couldn't get the finish there on the Mineral, but it was an instant stun, and he got chunked out. As you can see, Bumper going to be doubling his ult charge so far. Illicit not going to be looking for the far right yet. Could see it a bit later, but for now it will just be the double snipers for BlossoM.
Yeah, Suminsu is doing his best to give some extra shielding here. He can't really go back to the spawn room right now.
Okay.
But, like, they're losing a lot of damage by having the Brigitte here.
Looking for the shot there. Can't find Slime as he gets the res off the bubble. Going to be denying that line of sight from Mons. Good placement from Bumper. As Hureg keeps trying to find some decent damage coming through. Suminsu, Discord Orb in onto the Brigitte. Just going to be melee swinging away. Armor in onto Bumper to try to keep him alive. In the meantime, On's going to pop Janu out of the mech. Get the pump back here onto Sia, but
yeah,
already a good push for BlossoM.
Suminsu just not having a huge impact here, but if he can live long enough to get the rally, which he dies, it could have been a huge way to contest point A. He's going to stick with the pick for now because he's so close to the rally.
Taking down, res coming in. Mineral jumps forward. Dangerously low, and Twilight just going to go ahead. Uses this Transcendence to try to keep everybody alive. Suminsu nearly having the rally. He's going to pop this one immediately as that Dragon Strike comes through, and Janu's going to be out of the mech. Illicit managing to find that pop and that kill, and that's just going to be a completion here onto point A. 5 minutes on the clock for the Streets phase.
Now that the rally's been used, you know, we have to wonder how much longer is Suminsu going to stick with this Brigitte. It may just be a hero pool problem that he can't run the Genji, can't run the Hanzo. I mean, he already used it, right, to decent effect, so you would think that he could just switch over and have the defensive Hanzo, but he's so... you know, it feels obsessed in this moment with this Brigitte pick. He will finally switch to the Genji, but it wasn't doing him any favors there on that point A defense. The rally was late and desperate, and it didn't save Janu. So right now, BlossoM feels like they're in a great spot.
I think that Ons now has a sixth sense for these things. He knows, you know, I haven't been jumped on by an angry Winston in a while, so I think he's waiting around the corner. Spots him out, got that nice headshot, and actually forced the Primal Rage. So that's going to be a bit of a detriment here for RunAway, losing out on that ultimate just while they try to pop the Widowmaker alone. So a big delay tool gone. Going to use another one as that self-destruct comes into the backside, but not going to be finding the pick. And Janu's finished off before we can make it back into the mech. And now Slime will be joining him in the grave. Illicit coming up with yet another kill. Certainly has been delivering for BlossoM despite the losses. Illicit very instrumental on their victory on Hanamura and has been looking good since the start of the series.
It's really something that makes me happy to see because Illicit had some inconsistent performances in the past, but he looked good overall, but now he's really finding his stride here.
Transcendence here, denying that damage away, but it's not going to be helping Janu as he gets knocked out of that mech yet again. Discord Orb in, Bumper tries to leap forward, he's going to fall.
The
Sonic Arrow taking out Janu, and now Twilight nearly a team wipe really coming through. Onto RunAway.
They have every advantage in the book now as well. Illicit's got this Dragon Strike. They have full control of the zone. It's so difficult now for Summon-Su to collapse in and make this Dragon Blade work that he's about to have because Illicit can just simply counter it zone-wise with the Dragon Strike if he holds it. And they're playing so well around Illicit. Illicit is being dove upon by the tanks when the Discord Orb comes onto Bumper. Illicit pulls out his Storm Arrow, bursts Bumper down, forces him to retreat, or he dies. They're playing so well around this Hanzo right now. Summon-Su just wants this blade. He wants to get in the back line. He's going to have to be healed.
Down to 17 HP before he gets healed back up. He's going to be ready to go, but Illicit finds a shot there.
Here's
another Dragon Strike is going to come out immediately. No one really in its path. Valkyrie Pog from Slime. He can just go ahead and dash away, but Illicit finds another one, taking out Bumper with the Storm Arrows.
Again, that's what he keeps doing. Every time Bumper tries to dive on him, he turns it around with the Discord Orbs.
I mean, this is a ticking time bomb here for Summon-Su. He's got the Dragon Blade ready to go, but Swoon nearly has that Transcendence available. This is going to be 20% away, and now Illicit finds another pick. Twilight going down. BlossoM should be able to get to completion with so much time in the bank, unless he can do something dire. Dashing in, finds two. Illicit and Dotori both go down, but Ons shutting out the rest of that blade. Gets rid of him, gets rid of Janu. Urake gets rid of Swoon, however. It seems like BlossoM will be halted for the moment, and we'll see another Primal Rage burned by Bumper to get rid of Ons.
Summon-Su not here for the rescue this time, and Janu does get rezzed. So they look like they're going to stabilize here. But that was a scary moment because you get Ons on the high ground, and Summon-Su shows back up with the Hanzo. If Bumper is hit by those Storm Arrows again and is discorded, he can't push Ons off the high ground, and then looks like game over. There's still 3 minutes on the clock here left for BlossoM to equalize. Another Dragon Strike is ready. Again, Bumper the target here. He has to use his mobility option to get back. He's already dashed away. This is their opportunity to use this strike to zone them in.
Illicit throws that one, but everybody's hovering off to the left-hand side instead. Self-destruct in, forces out the Transcendence from Swoon. Good reaction from him to keep himself alive. Knew he wasn't going to make it around a corner in time. Bumper jumping away, keeps himself alive, and Dotori, of all people, actually takes down Summon-Su, and now Bumper will fall.
Got him again.
2 members dead, and for sight up from Hurek, but outside of that, there's not really any ultimates running. And it's just a spot out Ons, however, it does get that headshot, alleviating some of the pressure here on to RunAway, but they're still in dire straits as Janu gets taken out of the mech, and Swoon will snipe the Widow. Ons res back in, pushing forward with 2.5 minutes left on this time bank. BlossoM looking to get this completion and upset RunAway on their map.
Dragon Strike into the
Dragon
spawn.
Strike into the spawn room. Janu out of the mech, Summon-Su dead. Everybody dropping like flies. And BlossoM will push this one over the finish line. RunAway, all that they had was 3.5 seconds left. BlossoM completely shut them out.
I think if we had Stitch on that last defense, nothing against Hureg on the attack, but on the defense there, you know, I think it might have been a different story. He was losing out in the trades in the Widow battle, with some exceptions, right? I'm not trying to say that every time, you know, that there was a Widow battle, he was losing it, but they could not figure out how to play around Illicit and Dotori on the Hanzo Mercy, because every time we saw Bumper try to go in there, On's getting a body shot. They've got the Discord Orb. Storm Arrow's always saved for anti-dive. And Hanzo basically says, are you going to kill me or am I going to kill you? I think I'm killing you. I've got the support here. You're alone. And they just could not coordinate dive with the D.Va and the Winston together to burst through that damage. If you do enough, you can kill the Hanzo before you can even get his Storm Arrows off. But he's being pocketed, he's getting his damage boosted. We're seeing the Discord Orbs come through. It's just so difficult to kill Illicit. Yep. And not only is Illicit playing well, but BlossoM is playing so well around him. And that's why that last attack looked so fat. It looked phenomenal for BlossoM. And for me, I see two different BlossoM teams. One is the one in my head and in my memory from Season 1, and the one we're seeing here in Season 2 is very much prepared for this new meta, and it's exciting to see.
Yep, looking great here. There's RunAway. They're playing a bit half-baked. Had the attack pretty much pegged. They knew exactly what they wanted to do with the Doom Fist and whatnot, but when it comes over to the defense, they struggle heavily, and that might honestly cost them. Might be forced into that final Game 5.
Just watch how many times Bumper tries to get... Oh, look at that. But watch how many times Bumper tries to get kills and then is like, oh, I just jumped in. Now I can't jump away. I've got to, you know, back off.
I mean, this started off so well. You think back to Nepal, the dive forwards coming through to try to take them down, but that was with Haksal, who's a different breed of Genji compared to Sominsu.
Yeah.
Ureg here with the side angle. They managed to find Illicit. Su's going to go down, but Bumper will be traded. Slime, see if he can get into position for a res. Looks like the answer is going to be no. Dive coming in from Mineral.
Okay, this is looking
Slime
good for
going to get
RunAway.
finished off. Cart going to be halted here at the moment. Pop out onto the mech there. Sia gets knocked out. Good snipe from Ureg. Eliminates him, and Ons will go down. Janu able to get the kill on the Widow, onto the Widow. And seems like they will go ahead and get a second lease on life, but now they cannot leave the cart. We saw the miracle run on Blizzard World. RunAway. Can they do it again?
Sominsu there was the hero. He was the one committed finally with Bumper, with the Genji, to kill Illicit. Illicit died and everything fell apart. They're playing around him so hard, so when he goes down, he's their backbone. Because he bursts the tanks more consistently than Ons can. So they're going to have to pocket him a little bit better. Notice how far back Illicit's playing right now, trying to counter the Genji this time more than dealing with the Winston, as RunAway has to hug the cart. Here's the Dragon Strike to push them off of it.
Yeah, throws that one through it. Yeah, Janu taking a little bit of damage, but he's got the armor, so we'll mitigate a lot of that as Sominsu drops down. Discord Orb was on him, but he manages to stay alive. Dragonblade's going to be ready to go. Charging forward with that self-destruct, and they already get the Tori. A great opening, but Ons shuts down the blade, shuts down Slime, gets him out, so no rev's going to be available, and the self-destruct out from Zia gets rid of Ureg as well. RunAway losing out on the 4 members. It's just Janu and Twilight left alive, and they are not going to be lasting very long here as they just get chewed apart. OT will plummet. RunAway, a decent start considering the time bank that they had, but in the end, not going to be enough.
And for those at home who want to emulate the
to make it the B. It's not done yet. You know, it's not enough to make it the B. That's what I meant to say.
For those trying to emulate this playstyle of the Widow Hanzo, you know, for many, you know, you might see the too many snipers thing on your screen when you have them both locked in, right? And your teammates might tell you, no, let's not Widow Hanzo. It's not a good idea. It is viable, but one of the cool things you can do is make sure the Hanzo and Widow are in 2 different locations. So when the enemy team dives you, your other sniper peels. So most of the time it's been Illicit killing Mineral, either if it's on top of him or on top of Ons. But in this case, it was Ons who protected him when the Genji dive came through. So having 2 lines of sight and kind of a crossfire makes it very difficult for a strong diving team like RunAway to get kills, because one watches the other while they both have line of sight on 2 different locations opposite of each other. And that's where Ons got that back kill there. The self-destruct controlled the zone after that Dragon Strike. And then, of course, we saw the Primal Rage to finish everything off. But as you say, all things considered, this ends up being pretty nice for RunAway. However, 3:12 on the clock now. Sominsu's back on the Hanzo versus Illicit. Let's see if this time they can kill Illicit, or if he's just going to kill Bumper over and over and over again.
Well, good spot out coming through from the Sonic Arrow. Knowing exactly where they were sitting yet again. Illicit spamming away.
It's on such a short cooldown. You can just use it so often here.
Yeah.
Here comes Bumper. Again, he's the target immediately every time.
Bubble comes through. He goes low. Staying alive here for the moment, but Illicit just pops over the top, takes down Sominsu. Effortlessly cuts him out of the fight. Rez is going to have to be burned here by Slime.
Okay, this is
2.5 minutes remaining here as they start pushing forward. Ureg alleviated some pressure by getting rid of that Hanzo, but Tori.
This is RunAway's opportunity to make something happen right now. If they can actually control this area where they have line of sight advantage with Ureg, then they can buy a lot of time here. They can burn through a lot of the time. This is their strongest point. This is their Alamo, basically. This is where they want to hold it.
Yeah.
It's going to be on the accuracy of Ureg here. And Sominsu, obviously, if the dive comes through. But that's not really BlossoM's plan. They just want to hug the cart and counter dive with the Hanzo. Dragon Strike ready.
Has this one ready to roll. See what angle he wants to throw this. Probably just have to save it until BlossoM gets in onto the cart, because at least then you can operate around the choke point of the car wash, as you say.
Here's the Dragon Strike from Sominsu.
Through. Not really going to be getting that much damage because Swoon has that Transcendence. Pops that one out to keep everybody sustained.
Valkyrie to counter it, but BlossoM is holding more ultimates here.
Yeah, they have the Dragon Strike.
Ureg loses the battle.
Use, and Ureg's going to go down. Ons finding the hit. Arrow going through, looking for the headshot there on the Twilight. Not going to be able to find it. Storm Arrows chunking out Janu, and Bumper will fall. Rez has already been used to bring Hureg back into the fight. Now Summonsu's taken out as well. Hureg needs a pop-off performance, but I don't think it's going to happen. There's too many tanks to get through. A Primal Rage there from Mineral to keep him sustained. Point A gained. 1 minute and 12 seconds left. RunAway. Can they hold them off? Can they win this series here? Or is BlossoM going to be able to get one step closer to pulling off a reverse sweep?
Illicit and the plays that we're seeing from BlossoM around him are giving me goosebumps because he just has such a better understanding than Summonsu and RunAway of this new double sniper meta. They understand better how to play defensively, hug the cart, use the cart as a focal point, as a funnel to force RunAway to attack, so that therefore they will have the defender's advantage and they can burst down Bumper, who's having so much trouble.
Mineral trying to get himself out of there, but will get taken down. Summonsu with a Sonic Arrow, able to kill the enemy Winston. Janu holding on to this self-destruct here for the moment. Does not want to have to toss that one out, and a great shot there from Twilight. With a left click, manages to take down Illicit as he was on the exit, so a good stagger coming in. BlossoM gonna have one more push to try to get themselves in here. Transcendence nearly up for Swoon to Tori, very far away from the Valk.
Okay, one more shot here for BlossoM. They have the Dragon Strike, but they have to get onto the cart, and that's where RunAway has the advantage. They're on the high ground here. They could jump down on top of them.
Jumping in from behind, trying to build up for that Primal Rage yet again. Dragon Strike's gonna be coming through from Illicit. And you can see Janu getting popped out of the mech, but just throws down that self-destruct. Dragon Strike now pushing forward, trying to shove them off the cart. Transcendence used by Swoon. One final turn to the corner, and BlossoM punch their ticket to a 5th and final map. RunAway trying to hold them off. A trade here as Illicit goes down and Bumper will fall. The Tori manages to get the res here onto the Hanzo. Self-destruct, didn't see him! He's trying to shut them out! Double kill coming through. Janu out of the mech yet again, and there's nothing really that Hureg can do.
RunAway's in trouble.
Forward. RunAway gonna get taken out here as the effective team wipe comes in, and BlossoM
We're going to game 5.
in fact be taken as to Achilios for game 5.
We're going there, and the res onto Illicit is so important, but they just did not, they tunnel vision, they did not see the self-destruct come through from Sia. They were not prepared. They were tunnel vision, get on the cart, shove them off. They Dragon Struck early, and Swoon had the transcendences every time. When Summonsu put them out in a more predictive angle, or sorry, more predictable angle, it was a predictive transcendence. He was ready for it. He was waiting to press that Q button when the Dragon Strike came through. But it is dire straits for RunAway now, and I think you've got to put Haksal and Stitch back in the booth, back to control. You've got to go back to your standard.
We have to go back.
S-team. This is strategical depth is shown here with Summonsu. It's shown with the Hureg pick on the Zarya that the attempted attack there was trying to accomplish the quad tank, but both failed. The Doomfist got them a good street space, but didn't actually close the map out as quickly as they wanted to. Eventually, BlossoM was able to adapt, so they ended up with a weak time bank and get shut down on the extra round. So, like you said, Achilios is the fixed map for control. We're going there. It's a Widow matchup that we're going to see on Ruins no matter what. So you've got to think with how Hureg versus Stitch performance today. I'm sorry, Hureg, I love you. Your soldier was inspiring on GC Busan. But in terms of the Widowmaker, it's Stitch all the way tonight.
Yeah.
For what we've seen in our first series of RunAway, Stitch is the better Widow in the studio, in practice, in these games. And if you're going to Ilias, you've got to put him back in there.
Yeah, I think you just go back to the standard roster here. Stitch and Haksal back in. They were looking clean. You know, you'd think, what a transition this has been. You know, the domination on Hollywood, on Nepal outside of Shrine, you know, moving forward into Sanctum, into Village. It was 100-0 for RunAway to go ahead and close that out just back to back. Utter domination. They try to go for something a little bit different when it comes down to Hanamura, and that's when everything has just gone awry. They've been going down a very slippery slope, and I think it's trying to stabilize. It's time to stabilize the boat, you know, make sure you don't capsize, get those guys back in, and then just try to close this out, because it's going to be on Achilios.
And when we're seeing Illicit, the Hanzo, the dive comes through, he helps counter the dive, whether it's onto him or Ons. But Ons is on the high ground, he's winning the Widow battle because he's the better Widow of him and Hureg. And he has a line of sight because they already forced forced Bumper to run away, or he's killed, right? So he gets that line of sight on these open maps that are good for Widowmaker. They don't have Haksal to really dive hard. And when we saw Summonsu try to run the Genji, it wasn't bad by any means, but it just didn't have that Haksal fire that has, I mean, that is why they dominated Hollywood so much. So I think when you took Hawksall away to put the Doomfist in, it was a cool idea attack-wise, strategically. But otherwise, Illicit and BlossoM are playing better in this Hanzo meta in terms of the tanks, and that's why Bumper has had a bad day. No RunAway fan wants to see his kill-death ratio right now, because
I mean,
it's plummeted.
Illicit has just been utterly astonishing so far here today. Just wonderful, wonderful performance from him, whether it's on the Hanzo or the Pharah like we were seeing earlier on in the series, just utter domination. And this is going to be another map, now that we move over to Achilios, where the Pharah can come through. He can run either of those picks. Pharah, obviously very dominant, a very predominant pick on points, especially like well, but we even see it on Ruins in this map. But Stitch will be coming back through. I think that Hawksall is getting set up next to him, so fear not, guys.
Yep.
So if you're a RunAway fan in the chat, your faithful players are returning, it would seem. And the Panda, no. Yeah, there it is.
So there you go. And you guys are the biggest RunAway fans. You showed up live. You weren't VOD watching. You woke up. You were ready to watch this match.
If you woke up, I mean, you're either in Europe, but if you woke up and you're in America, then you have a sleep schedule far worse than mine.
Sure. The European fans, though, a little bit tougher to watch today's 2 p.m. start time in Korea. So what has RunAway learned is the big question. Like, have they been able to identify that Bumper's had some issues in the tank battles? Is that going to be what they are able to punish with Hawksall now on the Genji? Can they kill Illicit repeatedly on this Achilios map? Can they kill Ons on the Widow? Stitch is going to be able to potentially win the Widow war, because on the majority of Nepal he was able to do that. So, you know, when they put their S team in, I don't even want to say A team because this is RunAway, this is Stitch and Hawksall we're talking about. When they put their best squad in, their best 6-man, can BlossoM still use their defensive tank-busting Hanzo style, or are they just going to roll over and die? That's the question. I think everyone's got to put their money on RunAway as we head back to Control. They get to play their playstyle here on Achilios. But let's see if Illicit has any more surprises for us, because the Pharah can definitely change the outcome here. If he's able to kill it, if he's able to find unsuspecting angles onto Stitch's Widow, for example, that might turn the tide.
One final map, one more best of 3 on Achilios to decide who the winner of this series is going to be. Either way, certainly not the start that either of these teams would have liked. Want to accrue as many points as humanly possible and try to tie X6, who are currently at the top of the Group A standings with that 4-0. A win for either side is just going to net them 1 point. Does not do them many favors, but Achilios, we already know this is going to be the tiebreaker map for the duration of the season. BlossoM, 2 wins here, and they pull off a reverse sweep against RunAway.
It's all down to this final map. It's pretty tense here in the audience as well, as the RunAway fans were so audible for games 1 and 2, but it's gotten a little bit quieter. It's gotten a little bit more tense as we enter this final map. Everyone pegged RunAway to win. The fan vote was like 95 to 5% on the Korean sites. As they come into this final map, they might lose it. It's 1 more to go.
They need those cheers more than ever. With Stitch and Hawksall back in the roster, you get an added level of faith here for RunAway to be able to pull off this win, especially, again, after the dominance we already saw from them on Control earlier in the series.
As we head into Lighthouse, there's, okay, Illicit switches to the Pharah. I was going to say there's an ideological difference between these 2 teams. You do fight and brawl a lot on the smallest point on this map of the 3, where Hanzo is going to be the strongest. But they do decide that the power of Pharah is just too much here. The angles that she can work from, and Illicit's Pharah has been high impact all series long, is going to be better for the first take. We may see a swap to Hanzo if this doesn't work out, if they end up losing this first fight. But there was definitely some consideration of the Hanzo to start. Advantage right now in positioning slightly to RunAway, but Ons is getting into position now. Stitch needs to be careful.
Illicit, a decent angle here, trying to put some pressure onto Stitch, forces him off that high ground for the moment. Hawksall coming in from behind though, and 2 quick rockets to the back. Will take him out in swoon. Going to be eliminated as well. Tex playing forward, managed to find the kill onto Bumper, but Mineral taken down and Sia very swiftly thereafter, and RunAway will get the initial cap.
In this meta, Pharah, it almost sometimes feels like sucker punches you. You don't know where she is. You have to be playing. You have to be playing around the Widow as a Pharah, and the enemy Pharah, and the tanks that are trying to dive you. And then sometimes the other Pharah just goes unnoticed, gets into the back line, and blows everybody up. There's so much to think about in this Pharah versus Pharah when Widow is so permanently meta. And Hoxall finds that angle there. The retake via ground comes through here from BlossoM, not quite able to grab it.
Just about, they'll finally go ahead and start contesting this one, but John is going to be popped out of the mech. Ons and Illicit, however, going to be eliminated. Hoxall yet again just winning out on that Pharah duel. Goes low with the pockets here from the Pharmacy comp. They get the pop out yet again. Sia's going to go down and RunAway maintain control.
Okay, this is looking real bad for BlossoM right now. Illicit unwilling to make that switch to the Hanzo. He's going to stick with the Pharah. It's so late to switch to Hanzo now. I don't blame him for sticking with the pick. But they need to force something to happen here now, and they have an ult deficit, and that's at 50%. Not early in the control meter, but late, and that's a big problem here. Stitch going to go ahead and pop his Impresight. So he doesn't have a vision advantage, but he's actually being flanked by Illicit right now.
Takes a lot of damage. Barrage coming down from Hoxall. Manages to find Ons. Illicit traded out as Stitch finds that kill. The Tori falling. No Mercy's going to be available on Minerals. Just going to have a little party there.
Positive trade for RunAway. They use almost nothing.
Yep.
They get an even trade, but they still control the point.
Impresight and Barrage. So only going to be one true offensive ult being used there by Hoxall.
And Illicit still doesn't even have his yet, so it's not like they're down in ult in that regard. Not yet. So RunAway is very happy with this scenario. Ons again dove upon. Bumper's being countered though.
He's got the Primal Rage, however. He will go ahead and pop that one off screen, but he's still getting chunked out. You can tell the Discord orbs are really helping to work away this Winston. Hoxall finds Illicit yet again, but will be taken down by Notori, who gets the res off, and Twilight's eliminated. So now Slime going to be solo healing, so Twilight not able to use that Transcend to keep himself up. Stitch kites back, manages to pick up the Mega Pack, but in the meantime, BlossoM looking to get this cap. They managed to flip it here at 99% RunAway. They can regroup, they have time on their side.
Normally in control, this is an almost unwinnable position, 0 to 99, even if you get the cap, because the enemy team's going to build the big six. You have to win every fight, so you have to use ultimates more often than they do. But in this new Widow meta, the positional advantage that controlling the point gives you is actually huge. So this is still anyone's game to take. Advantage RunAway, obviously, but Ons has line of sight advantages right now that it's going to be difficult for Stitch to take away. Impresight will help. They'll have that in just a moment.
Oh, Barrage. Decent angle, but the defense matrix wouldn't be there from Janu. They find the pickoff already onto the Notori. Listen, going low. He'll get just taken down, run down on one side and Stitch on the other. Janu, good coordination there. Just go ahead and isolate that Widowmaker. Give him absolutely no choices. Now Mineral going to fall. Bumper taken out by Ons. The charge in from Sia. As the Selfless Shark can try to make it back into the mech. He might be able to do so as the rockets are not connecting. Tori swap to the Lucio as they try to repop this one. Hoxall, Barrage, ready, throws it down, looks for the Lucio, finds him instantly, but the flip still not there.
Illicit trades it out, but it's going to be his own death. Suicide
costs him
here.
his own life there, throws it down, takes damage from the splash. Ons up into the air, and yet again, Bumper here with a Primal Rage. Always ready to deal with this Widowmaker. Hans is in such a rough spot, can't make it back over onto the point here at the moment. And Mineral with the Primal Rage still going to die to Tori. Cut down, and Sia can't make it in. 100% to 58. Good start here for RunAway.
Really good understanding of the map. It's the veterans on RunAway that end up taking this. They have more experience. They've been playing since season 1 of our 6 seasons of or 4 seasons of Apex, and of course, you know, the 2 seasons we have here of Contenders. They've been veterans, they've been playing since the beginning, and Hoxall finds that flank on the Pharah. Stitch is there to catch the rest of the damage. They're able to take out the tanks, take out Illicit there. So just understanding how to flank and use the Pharah Widow on this map worked out very well for RunAway. We're not done yet though. We still potentially have Ruin to go. Ruins is the next map. This is where Ons is going to play his.
Yep, it is Ruins.
Yep, that's where we're going to
start. Straight into it.
Ons has his comfort map here now, as Stitch just takes blind shots at the moment, full charge.
Oh, he got a tag. He hit Swoon once. This shot at as Ons tries to shift to the side. In the meantime, oh hey, there's a dive going on. It's going to be Notori and Swoon both eliminated, and yet again, hello, old friend. Goodbye.
It's a D.Va-less comp. They run the blind Brigida, expecting Illicit to be on the Genji. They were correct, and they are rewarded. Illicit just can't do much here on this Genji pick. We'll probably have to swap. Yep, switches over to the Brigida himself to even it out. Ult disadvantage now further for BlossoM. Feels really painful as you're on your last legs in this best of 5. You brought it to the game 5, but closing it out is going to be so much tougher now. And Ons does not have line of sight advantage. They're going to sneak around the right side here from their perspective, but Stitch has already gotten plenty of pot shots off.
Yep. Nearly has the infra sight ready to go. On still hovering around 40, so Stitch doubling him at the moment. But On's going to be trading up. Wins that battle. Poking out for the side, can't find an angle there as the Storm Arrows come through. Illicit under fire, gets taken down. Twilight. The aggro Zenyatta manages to find the kill. Hoxel going forward, throws out that pulse bomb, doesn't find anything, but they're not done yet. They're still diving forward. Bumper, they want the pump onto Sia. He goes so dangerously low in the mech, but they cannot finish him off, but they manage to get the Tori. So just as well. Still finding a nice staggered kill. RunAway maintaining control, now over 50%.
They control the spawn as well, and that's the toughest point for BlossoM. Illicit switching again back to the Brigida to hope to shove Hoxel and the tanks out of the front line as they come through. The Slime Lucio pick here works so well for RunAway because it gives them more mobility to come in and out with this Brigida pick. And Ons just cannot really get into a position to do massive damage. Illicit can't run the Hanzo here versus Hoxel's Tracer. It's so rough for them, and it looks like they're running out of steam.
He's in deep. That's going to force out the Transcendence here from Twilight as Bumper just keeps them shoved all the way back towards the spawn, jumps in, looking for the knockoff, and he finds it. Goodbye, Swoon. You're out of here. Home run hit from Bumper, taking him down. Stitch finds Mineral as well. And now they just keep charging forward. Illicit.
10% to go.
Can he make it out of here alive?
They can't get out of the spawn, Achilios.
Yep.
Sia just runs
the tag
in the tag.
comes through from Sia. He's got the self-destruct, but he's not going to make it back into that mech. He is gone, and they might not even be able to force this. OT will be able to drop in just in time, and the Discord Orb just chews up Mineral. Sound Barrier in for good measure from RunAway. Transcendence out from Swoon, trying to buy some time, and both killers are going to go down and RunAway with Stitch and Hoxel back into the mix. The veterans come back through, and they will guide RunAway into a series victory. BlossoM gets so close to closing out this reverse sweep, but they cannot get it in the end. RunAway picking up the win, their first series out.
But when we put RunAway under the magnifying glass here, what we remember is this is their first series in Contenders against a Trials team who was relegated last season, and to have to struggle this hard to win it and to stand up and cheer here as if they've won a semifinals is a little bit worrisome. What we learned here is RunAway's dive is as strong as it ever was. Hoxel's Pharah comes back in here. It's meta now. He's still in form on the Pharah. What the concern is that the new players on the roster, Hureg and Saminsu, despite the fact that they add strategic depth, when the strategy starts to fall away, flexing back to the Widow, flexing back to the Genji for these two players, they just look B tier compared to the starting lineup of RunAway. And that's what's concerning, because as we look further into the regular season, this is something that can be abused, especially considering the dive meta is dying slowly right now in Contender Season 2 in Korea. So despite the fact they walk away with the win, they get only 1 point in map score. I think the team that's going to be happier of the two looking further into the season is actually BlossoM. They went toe-to-toe with RunAway. They utilized the Hanzo composition correctly on Escort, and that was, I think, the best part, the big takeaway for BlossoM. So for RunAway, they win it. They looked good, but we do have to wonder where Hureg and Saminsu's place is going to be in the coming weeks.
Yeah, because right now it looks like it might just be on the bench for a while, unless they can improve themselves through solo queue, through scrims. They managed to get the win, but barely so. RunAway. This could have been so much more concise after Hanamura, maybe a 3-1 victory. But
and if you ever wondered if RunAway was the most popular team in Korea, wonder no longer.
I mean, they're one of the most popular teams in the world, even without being in the Overwatch League. One of the most well-known, one of the most beloved organizations to exist. Not only
touch the game.
I would say not only in Overwatch esports, but kind of in general.
Yeah.
Across a lot of titles, like just their fan base is so diehard.
Given also like their short history, if you think about how long Overwatch has been out, I mean, we're really like in our second big year of Overwatch right now, and the fact that they built up this many fans is